Hey guys, Mr. C Silverfox coming to you from Cartagena, Colombia. Question for you. How do you usually meet the people in your life? And I don't mean just women. I mean the job that you are currently working at. How did you meet the person that you got the job through? Was it an ad online, or did you know somebody, or what? The place that you're living in, how did you find out about it? How did you get hooked up with that? If you think of your 3 closest friends, how did you meet those people? For most people, they live very passively. So if you need a place to stay, you search Craigslist or whatever, booking or whatever you're using, and you just find, whatever's available in the market. If you want friends, you just kind of interact with the people around you already at your job or in your classes, and those become your friends. If you want to date women, you just go on Tinder, and whoever picks you, you'll go for. Or maybe you get a little bit more sophisticated and do social circle game, which person I wouldn't recommend, and you date friends of your friends or whatever. Basically, it's shit that falls in your lap. I think it's much better if you live your life with intention, and I think it's much better if you make your own opportunities. So I want to talk to you about that, but first, I'm going to ask you, like this video if you enjoy the content, and of course subscribe, because you're going to find a whole bunch more of my videos if you subscribe to the channel than if you don't, because YouTube just doesn't always report the new videos because of the content. So today we're going to get you set up much better opportunities in your life, but first 2 seconds. Okay, so myself, I used to be quite passive. If I wanted to have friends, I would be like, shit, I don't have enough friends, and where am I going to meet people? How come nobody approaches me and asks me, let's go out? And the same with women, how come there's not enough opportunities in my life? I don't have enough friends or neighbors or family members that have hot women that they are connected to. What the fuck is wrong with that? If I wanted better opportunities with work, then I would be like, well, how come I don't have the opportunities that I hear of some of my friends having? And then a major thing happened to me, kind of like over the last 10 years of my life, but specifically when I got out of the shitty relationship I was in 3 years ago. Came out of the relationship and I was very shut down emotionally. She was extremely jealous. And so I was constantly downscaling how social I was with people. And when I came out of the relationship, I was just completely fucked socially. And so I started getting really radical in the way that I interacted with people. And I started using daygame to do that. A lot of people I will hear a complaint from, like, oh, I should just be able to learn this stuff myself. I shouldn't have to get a coach. I shouldn't have to pay that money. Everything on the internet's free. Yeah, you can do that. It's going to take you a fucking decade to get where you could be in a year. So really, it comes down to the currency of time and your own priority that you put on your time versus your money. Myself, time is by far, greater currency than money. But an interesting thing happened when I really, really, really started investing in daygame. I was going out every day for fucking a year, I think. And a very interesting thing started happening because I started having all different opportunities opening up. And the reason why was because when I go out to do daygame, the way that I've taken it on is basically I'm interacting in a charming way with everybody I see that I think deserves some form of compliment or to be uplifted. Guy that might be gay, might be a couple, might be a beautiful woman, she might be with her parents, might be her parents, I don't know. But I'm interacting with everybody that I want to interact with. And when you do that, when you live that way, you wouldn't believe how many opportunities come. So I just want to talk to you about a few opportunities, because I strongly believe you have opportunities trying to bump you in the head every fucking day. The problem is, if you don't act on that opportunity, it just disappears. You see a gorgeous woman walk by. If you don't act on that opportunity, it goes away and you never see her again. That could have been absolutely life-changing for you. Or you can just walk away. And the same with guys. You could walk into a bar, there's a cool-looking guy, you want to chat with the guy or whatever, and tell him he's telling funny stories or whatever, right? But you don't, because you're afraid that he's going to think you're gay, or he's going to think you're a loser, or he's going to think you're needy or whatever. And so you never have any opportunities. And life is so much better lived when you just grasp every fucking one of those opportunities and grab it by the throat. You wouldn't believe what happens. So like, for example, right now, I'm in a fucking delicious pad right now, 2-bedroom, right on the ocean. Maybe I'll send a video. Maybe at the end of this video, if you watch all the way to the end of this video, I'll connect what my place looks like that I'm staying in. And I'm paying probably about a quarter of market value. How did I line that up? Well, I walked into a rooftop terrace about 2 months ago, and I was just going there to see if it was a good place to take a chick on a date later in the evening. It was like maybe 7 o'clock at night. And then I walked in, and there was a guy that I actually thought was like the maitre d' or the host or something like that. He looked like maybe he was the owner, standing in the middle of the restaurant. And I just walked by and I was like, hey, dude, cool looking place, blah, blah, blah. And we just started talking. We started talking for like 10 minutes, laughing and joking, all this stuff going back and forth. 15 minutes later, his table, his 7 friends that he was with or whatever, said, come on, join us. And so I sat down with them and ended up spending the whole evening with them. We went to like 3 or 4 different rooftop terraces and became really good friends. And out of that growing friendship, one day I was saying, hey, I need to find an apartment, and he has a friend that has this and connected to that. And he hooked me up with his aunt that has this place but never rents it out because she doesn't live here, but she doesn't want to rent it to somebody because she doesn't trust people like on Airbnb and stuff. So I'm renting this for the same as what I would have been paying to live in Vancouver, but this place is fucking divine. And I'm right on the beach in Cartagena, Colombia. It's amazing. The opportunity just, quote unquote, fell in my lap, and someone would say, oh, you're so lucky. It's not luck. I fucking made that luck happen. Because if I didn't talk to the guy, I never would have become friends. We never would have networked. I wouldn't have openly mentioned to him I was looking for an apartment for a few months. And he wouldn't have told me, hey, I have this great apartment. And that's how life works. I can tell you that same story 40 times in different areas. About a week ago, I went to the pool in my building, this new building. And there was a guy hanging out by the pool. He just came, he walked by. He was like, hey, dude, how you doing? I was like, oh, I'm doing good. Blah, blah, blah. Just started talking with him in the same using the same social skills that I honed through my day game training. And after about 15, 20 minutes, he's like, oh, dude, tomorrow we're a bunch of guys, we're renting a yacht and we're going to all these different places and whatever. I should talk to one of my buddies and see if there's room. I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. So then I ended up going on the yacht with these 10 guys and just hanging out with them for the day and making friends with them. And a couple of them have become incredibly good friends. And now I just have gone out with one of the guys a few times. He hooked me up with a salsa dancer teacher. So I started using her to teach me how to dance bachata. And then really cool guy to hang out with, and just became friends with the guy. And now we're going to be doing some business deals together. So this is the way it normally works for me in my life. You know, when I first got into day game, I think I'd been training at it for maybe about 6 months. Then I heard about Yad from daygame.com. And he says, you know, I got some generic email. Hey, I'm going to be in Vancouver. You know, if you want to book a boot camp. I was going through a really bad divorce at the time, so I was completely bankrupt. And I didn't even know that you could pay somebody to train you how to do day game. I was just learning it on my own because I didn't know. So I get this email and I thought, well, you know, what is it going to hurt? So I sent him an email back. I'm like, hey, dude, look, I live in Vancouver because I used to. And, you know, if you have paying clients, that's cool. But if you don't have a client for the weekend or for a couple of days, my schedule's wide open because I just do day game full time. I'd love to meet you, show you around the city. We could just hang out. And I think I told him I'd pay him a few $100 or something. It was like basically all I could scrape together. I told a couple of my friends about it. I was like, dude, why don't we get together, a group of us, 4 guys, and he'll give us some training and give us a deal. And none of my friends were game. None of them wanted the opportunity. So anyway, he ended up emailing me back. So we hung out for a day or two. I had some of my most incredible approaches for the first couple of years in those 2 days because he just helped me so much with my making positive energy and connecting with women. I'm going to post right about now. Okay, you know what? Right now, these are 2 of the stories. I've met this girl. She's a Japanese exchange student. She was 18, and I met her the same day. I was with Yad, just walking through a mall. She was sitting in the food court by herself. And so I just walked over and started talking to her at the table. We ended up going out for like 3 or 4 months. It was fucking insane. She was an 18-year-old high school student, literally a Japanese schoolgirl that was going to high school in my city. It was amazing. I'm still in contact with her. I'm going to see her whenever I end up going to Japan. Gorgeous little girl. Second one I met the next day. She was a stunning fucking 23-year-old Mexican girl living in a city about 2 hours away in Seattle. And she was just there for the day. She was going home the next morning. She was just there with her friend. We ended up going out in the evening. for drinks. And then just immediately she brought me back to her hotel. It was my first same day lay. It was insane, absolutely mind-blowing experience. I had no idea that this shit was actually possible to live. And it just happened because I reached out and hit up Yad and said, hey, look, dude, you know, let's get together for coffee or a beer or something.
It's like if I took a picture. I'm not going to take a picture, okay? Tell me a story. Just tell me a story about anything. Tell me a story about when you moved in here. Tell me a story about your clothes.
A story about my clothes? What do I say about my clothes? So, this dress is actually my favorite garment because I bought this for New Year's. And I wore it for New Year's Eve. And it was the
biggest hit.
Beautiful dress there. And
what did you wear under that?
Nothing. I'm just kidding.
It's like, ay, mama, cheat that.
No, I just wore like some underwear where you could kind of like see my butt cheeks.
Will you do something for me? Put on whatever you wore. Well, actually, no, when we go out tonight. Except I'll be slightly underdressed compared to you, because what did I bring? I'll be casual, smart casual. You'll be, fuck me now, I'm gorgeous. But that's awesome.
Then about 4 months later, Yad hits me up and he says, hey, I double booked myself. I'm supposed to be on a boot camp in Vegas. And at the same time, I'm supposed to be in a boot camp in Europe. I want you to go do the one in Vegas in my stead. There's a few other coaches going. Then, so I was like, yeah, you know, of course it was intimidating. I wasn't a coach. I just knew day game from doing it for myself. He says, I think you'll do fine. So I go, and then I started making a bunch of other friends in the coaching community and made some great contacts. Ended up doing, I think, 3 other boot camps with that group of coaches. Had a blast, absolutely fun, brilliant time. That's where I met Tusk. Then while I was there with James Tusk and Sam, then they said, hey, look, in a couple of weeks, we've got some boot camps going on in Rio. Do you want to come down and work on them with us? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I went to Rio. And when I stayed in Rio, this is even crazier. I met a guy when I was in Vancouver and became good friends with him just while I was doing day game, and I met him in a mall, Brazilian guy from Rio, crazy karaoke Hugo. And when I was in, we became really good friends when I was in Vancouver, and then his family's in Rio, and his family came up and we showed them around Vancouver. So then when I had this opportunity to go to Rio for 3 weeks, he says, oh, why don't you go stay with my family? They have a beach house in Rio. So immediately I stayed at their beach house right across the street from, I think it's Baja Beach or whatever it is in Rio. It was fucking perfect. I was right across the street for free for 3 weeks. It was amazing. You know, shit like that, opportunities like that just kept happening, you know, and it's because I was making those opportunities happen. Since then, I've done a bunch of boot camps with Tusk. We're going to be leading a couple in January in Colombia, in Bogota, and in Medellin. A great opportunity for you guys to really get dialed in. But the point is, I could tell you story after story after story. And the point is not, I'm cool. The point is, I've learned how to make opportunities unfold in my life by taking action. And it's a very masculine quality to take on board. And if you learn how to do that, you will have opportunities that come by for business. You will have opportunities that come by with women. You have opportunities that come by in life for your friends, places to live, everything. I've told you guys, I think I've had 3 stories now where I've just been chatting with a girl that I'm not even interested in, but I'm doing like day game social stuff, chatting with her on a plane. And then when I get where I'm going, one time it happened in Cali and twice it happened in Bogota. The girl says, hey, do you want a free ride to your hotel? Okay. So I just saved like a $40, $30 cab ride. I mean, it's a great way to do life. You know, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. And so when guys talk about their day game coaching, I always remind them, dude, you're going to get the benefits of this. You're going to reap the dividends in your dating life, in your sex life, in your business life, in your family life, in your social life, everything, because you are actually upgrading yourself into the upper tier, and your mindset flows outward like ripples in a pond and literally transforms your opportunities in life. So don't get pissed off when you hear other people have great opportunities. And sure as fuck, don't say, wow, that guy's really lucky. Because I can pretty much tell you he probably isn't lucky. He doesn't have privilege. He creates opportunities by the way that he does his life. And then he enjoys those opportunities. You can do the same. And that, I think, is the benefit of day game coaching. So there you go. Take that on board and do it. I could tell you story after story about it, but really, if you start living it, you'll have your own stories. So you won't need my mediocre stories. You'll have your own fucking incredible stories. And then you can do life that way. So check out the sick pad that I ended up landing for the next 4 or 5 months, and come down to Colombia, man. While you're sitting there in wherever city or country you're in and going through lockdown, we're sitting here meeting gorgeous women and going on dates. I highly recommend this approach to life. Take care, guys.